good morning, good noon, good evening, whatever time and place you listen to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark, the realist. We got Ali, hip hop's godson.
Yes, sir.
Myself, Nesquik. And together, that's hip hop.
That's hip hop.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does mean a lot. Today, we're dissecting Harlem World's finest. There's a few MCs you think of when it comes to Harlem. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have to mention Big L.
Big L.
But unfortunately, due to his short, stint in hip hop, unfortunately, the only other person that you could go to next is Mace.
Mace is the
Killer
next
Mace.
from that time. Yeah, Murder Mace.
Murder Mace.
Yeah.
Cameron, Killer Cam.
Killer Cam. Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's so dope the way.
in the crates.
Think about that. They were
Digging in
all
the
in,
crates, yeah.
think about that. They were all in one group.
That's crazy.
Cam, Mace, and Big L. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy.
That group name.
He's been the number one MC to champion Harlem and put it on the map. He has the infamous for his tattoo on his shoulder.
Classic.
And the cover. Always ad-libs Harlem World in his tracks. Always bigging up his hometown where he was raised. And he just has an incredible backstory along with such a pivotal career in hip hop. I know sometimes the underground scene gives that label of the shiny suits movement with Puff Daddy and everything. But nonetheless, hip hop is always evolving. It's always changing. And he brought something new, nonetheless. I know it was more Puff pushing that, but he was able to really rock it and pull it off.
For sure.
The dance, the whole dance moves, the flow. He had to change his whole style up, just to make it work.
He did.
For business reasons. Changed his name.
Yep.
I mean, that was his name.
Murder Mace.
To change that, changed his whole appearance, whole look, whole flow. And just because he wanted to make it work, he wanted to go to the top and rise and make something happen.
Yep.
Mark mentioned it. Something I don't know what other MC could say this. 3 singles from this album in the top 10.
For your debut
the
album.
top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, not
rap charts.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's
for your debut album to do that.
Yeah, and the album to go to eventually go triple platinum.
Yeah, that's a
debut.
splash.
Oh yeah,
that's a splash. What year was this?
1997.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
took over.
Yeah, it cemented the fact that Bad Boy was an institution at that point.
They were the label.
We can
in
make you a
97.
superstar. Like you've seen who we've created at this point.
Right.
Yep.
And before this, I believe he had he was a potential to have a basketball career along with
him and Cam played ball together. Yeah,
which is kind of crazy. I didn't know that whole relationship. But early on, they had their own little career.
Yeah, Cam actually went on to play. He played a little junior college basketball for a little bit.
Yeah, and
out in Texas
they
somewhere.
both meet up in Harlem. And Mace, he randomly bumps into Puff Daddy, trying to get to Jermaine Dupri. Right, bumps into Puff Daddy. And he's like, "Yeah, what's up? You got a verse?
Playboy?
You got a verse from me?"
Dramatization.
And Mace spits his verse that I think he ends up using for 112, right?
Oh yeah, the Only You verse. Yeah,
Only You spits that flow. Puff Daddy's like, "Don't talk to nobody. I'm gonna sign you." Dope rise from that to now taking over at the hip hop's most limelight to do it in.
I almost kind of compare it a little bit to like his rollout from introduction to debut album, like Snoop kind of.
Okay.
Where with Snoop you had like Deep Cover.
Yeah.
That was the introduction.
Right.
Then you had The Chronic, which was Dre's album. That was the unveiling of Snoop. And then you turn around, Doggy Style.
Yeah, drop the
and
album.
then he blows up. So Mace kind of had that same thing. It was like you did Only You and then More Money, More Problems for Biggie. Then you get Puff's album, No Way Out. He has a couple songs on there.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think Feels Good, right?
Yeah,
Feels So Good before.
Yep. And then so like I said, you had Puff's album with a couple joints like Been Around the World, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. And then you turn around and then his album, and then it feels so good.
Not to
all
mention
these other
he
joints.
wrote, Puff stuff as
yes,
well.
he did a lot of writing for Puff on that No Way Out
so
album.
We could even had more from Mace.
A lot of his pen. Yep, as he he has mentioned, he was like, look, after he said when Biggie died, it was my pen that kind of kept Bad Boy afloat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like literally.
And that's a heavy mantle to carry.
What?
A heavy mantle.
Crazy.
To carry that, you know. Biggie left such a big void at Bad Boy in hip hop.
Right.
Even more so.
We mentioned in previous episodes, but you end up having this power vacuum that happens with Biggie leaving a void in New York. Who's taking this? Oh yeah, who's occupying this void?
Jay-Z,
you know,
wanted that.
It's what you have to look at from 97 on.
Yep,
and see how the moves play out.
Yeah,
because these moves play out because of the void.
Yeah, seriously.
So, to a certain extent, you don't have the success of Mace without the untimely passing of the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to say that, but it's how it plays out.
Yeah.
We're talking about his debut album, Harlem World. It was released October 28th, 1997 by Bad Boy Records and Arista Records. This album was nominated at the 41st Annual Grammy Awards for Best Rap Album. It went on to sell 4.9 million copies.
Wow.
And going quadruple platinum.
Man.
Quadruple. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 chart on November 15, 1997, selling nearly 273,000 first copies in its first week.
Wow.
Producers on this that are worth mentioning, Sean Puffy Combs, of course, Neptunes as well on this, and a number of other great producers that are on this as well, but just too long to list them all. Man, so I knew that this was going to be a fun one just because you see what Mace is doing today. He's connected with Cameron.
Yep.
And we've known they've had a beef for quite some time.
They had their issues.
And it's so cool to see them both come together.
Love seeing them together.
Their chemistry is crazy. It is what it is. Their chemistry
Such
is
a dope
fun.
podcast. Such a dope podcast.
They do the pause game a lot. And they're just joking a lot, and it's just so their chemistry is just undeniable.
It's amazing. I love seeing them. I mean, for me, looking at them together, it takes me back to childhood because the first time I ever hear of Cameron was the song Horse and Carriage, and Mace is on the hook of that.
Yeah.
And when I see them, I think of that song and just the memories of being like 9, 10 years or however old I was when that was out, and it was just a good time just growing up. It was childhood. So them, going through the issues, but then reconnecting and starting this amazing podcast. They have great guests. Yeah. I mean, they connect with sports and hip hop. They do it all. It's so dope.
Yeah, we could do all that too. But at the same time, I like the fact that we're focused, on hip hop. But this group right here.
Oh, we could easily, we could be a diverse podcast at some point. Don't be shocked if down the road.
Very easily. So what was your guys' introductions to Mace like? Obviously, I chose it this week, but I want to kind of skip on to other things. I'm more curious to when it was when you guys first heard Mace. Ali, when was the first time you heard Mace?
First time was More Money, More Problems. That verse, that song was so huge. And honestly, fun fact about me that I haven't really shared on this podcast, Mace was my first favorite rapper. Like the first favorite rapper I ever had was Mace. So I was probably 8 at the time. So now I'm starting to kind of understand. I still don't understand hip hop, but I'm understanding it enough now where I can look at the TV and say, that's my favorite rapper. Like that was the first time I did that, which was when the More Money, More Problems video came out. That video, it would look like a motion picture. Yeah. The shiny suits were crazy.
The track was very iconic.
The beat, the sample, the hook. I mean, Mace is the first verse on there, and he kills it. And I mean, they got the silver suit on, the red one, the yellow one. I'm just looking at this. I'm like, what is this? Yeah. So that's my introduction to Mace. And then you fast forward to, Harlem World, Feels So Good. For me, it's like part 2 of More Money, More Problems. Yeah. Now he's got the green shiny suit and they're out in Vegas with the crazy cars. I don't even remember what car. I don't know if it was a Bentley or whatever it was.
Like it remixed it.
Yeah, it was the Hollywood swinging.
Yeah.
So it's just like, he just, to me, embodied what it was to just be cool. Looking at Mace was
he had that
Mace
riz.
was just swaggy, man.
Sure.
Like, you looked at him and was just like, oh yeah, that dude is fresh.
Man,
The girls liked him. his flow was simple, but it was simple enough to catch the words, but complicated enough as an adult where I'm like, oh no, he's still really spitting on
doing
here.
multi-syllables, doubles.
But it's smooth enough where the girls can like it. I mean, honestly, I feel like Mace is the precursor to Fabulous.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
well I can see that.
To me, he's the original. Like Mace kind of opened that door first, and then I think later we get like Fab is like the evolution of what Mace probably could have been if he kept going. And obviously Fab went on to have a much longer career, but I feel like
it as a smoother version of Too Short, like an evolution,
okay,
but just a newer version.
I can see that. I can see that. But definitely, like to me, he just embodied what it was to be cool. And while he did curse, he didn't curse a lot. Like in comparison to a lot of what else was going on back then. Yes, he did curse, but like I said, in comparison, it wasn't like crazy. You know what I mean? So that was another thing. Like his clean songs, they were still very listenable. You know what I mean? So that was the other thing. Being a kid, why I like Mace so much too.
What about you?
Ended up seeing Mace with the Feel So Good music video on the box. Saw it a lot.
Where were they? They're in Vegas, right?
Vegas,
Vegas?
And even at the time, it's funny that you mentioned that.
Are in there.
Funny that you mentioned that that Mace was your favorite rapper. For a long time, I liked Puff Daddy.
Okay.
You know, going on to like All About the Benjamins and all his songs, like every music video was super flashy.
Motion pictures,
dude. Even if you go to the Diddy music video, the fool has big letters of his name in the song, and he's dancing around like a la Bobby Brown in every step you take.
Great comparison.
Every little step.
Great comparison.
But what I really liked about Bad Boy around this time was the fact that, you know, Puff figured it out.
He did.
He unlocked this cheat code to where all you needed to do, and then it's one of those. I want to say the term is going to be getting the. You end up getting the props for it's delayed gratification.
Oh, okay.
These songs are delayed gratification because it's going to be the Biggie Memorial song with the Sting sample in it. It's the one song that More Money, More Problems.
I'm Coming Out, the Diana Ross joint.
The Diana Ross one. Break My Stride comes out to the Matthew Wilder song. Ain't nobody gonna hold me down. That's a sample that Puff used too.
Oh, what about the
Hollywood Swingin', Cool in the Gang?
Yeah, Biggie. Can't. What's the sample?
Lottie Dottie.
No. The sample.
It's a jazz record.
Yeah.
It's a jazz record.
So Puffy figures it out where his hottest singles are gonna come with residual, like residuals going to be going
Isley
to the
Brothers.
They're going to be going to those main artists, but the fact is that there's still a cut of money going to them.
Yes.
Right.
So the longevity is there the whole time because you still have the sample backed by the 80s hit, by the 90s hit.
Yeah. And they were so revolutionary in the time because we didn't really have like somebody doing it independently quite yet, like him, Suge, Master P, like those three, like were the triangle of like doing it, you know, running their own labels.
Yes.
Which was different.
And so the beauty about this is that Puffy can literally insert anybody to be the new somebody.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
He, you know, with Biggie, you know, you have his untimely passing, but you'll hear through this album, the debut album of Mace, there's a lot of Biggie flow within Mace.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a very concentrated, slow flow, and the lyricism's always there. He doesn't lash out.
It sounds like an iteration of Puffy, but like someone who's, you know, writes, you know, because Puffy's not known to write.
Right.
Yeah.
But someone who can actually write like that.
Yeah. And what I like about this, it's pretty much the early framework of like what Puffy's able to do with virtually anybody.
Yeah.
You know, granted, you still do have to have the talent, but you have a lot of strong backing.
Yeah.
With
Ace, the Locks, Loon, Faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lil' Kim, you can name, the list.
He even had DMX on this joint.
DMX, he was like he never signed to Bad Boy, but DMX might as well have been an affiliate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was on the Locks first album. He's on this album. Like, he really knew how to cultivate those stars. Black Rob, you know what I mean? Like, Black Rob, he may not have had the longest career, but everybody remembers Whoa. You know what I'm saying? Whoa was a monster.
Yeah, that was a big one.
You know what I mean? So he just shined. Like he just knew.
Sean was another one,
he
too.
knew how to cultivate those those diamonds in the rough, and then whether it be one album, two albums, one hit, however long it ended up being for various artists, he got it out of you.
Yeah. And you know what's the crazy part about all this is that there's only one recognized blunder from Puff, and that's the band.
Oh yeah, that didn't work.
As soon as he started doing that whole go get me a pie or whatever, that's when it started.
Had to walk into Brooklyn for cheesecake.
That's when it started. Yeah, there you go, cheesecake. That's when it started to kind of turn a little bit.
Because he kind of slaps his formula in the face to where he's like, I can make a reality TV show about me making these artists. That's just
that was
not
too
how
much.
it works.
Nah.
I forgot what other artists he worked with, but they all had a similar story with that. And even Mace himself, later on we find out the deal wasn't all it was cracked up to be, according to Mace, and this is why Mace ultimately ends up leaving Bad Boy, because he was over it, and he turns to God and turns into being a preacher, which is another like facet about him, which is also kind of funny, because here's this preacher, formerly MC, who then goes back into the hip hop world after being a preacher, has beef with Cameron, wants to like talk it out, like doesn't want to talk about it, wants to like say, yo, you want some? Like,
they had like legit like diss records.
Yeah, legit, dude. If you hear Oracle from Mace,
he went crazy on Cam.
One of the illest disses I've ever heard.
Nuts. I was like, whoa.
He has so much ammo because he known Cameron.
Yeah, they whole life.
So he has everything on Cameron.
Like Cam even says, like, yo, he got me on that. Like
he rolled that shit.
He doesn't even like deny it. He's like, he got me.
He fleshed me out.
Yep. Like, he got me.
Cameron came with some good ones too, but that's what makes this also like, unique and fascinating, because like you have this whole story arc with Mace, and in real time you're like, oh, he fell off or whatever. But now when you look back at it, it's like, no, it's kind of interesting though.
It's just a journey.
It's a journey for him. And they said that Kanye West was a big fan of Mace.
Oh, for sure.
Always mentions Mace. He's like always talking about how he went to church and wish he came back and all this stuff. And now the irony is, Kanye West takes the same journey. So it's all kind of funny. Man, this is an incredible one to talk about. I just remember this, this is one of those early building blocks of me getting into hip hop, because my brother was a big fan of Mace, had the Mace cassette tape for Harlem World, popped that cassette in. This is like kind of my first, of hearing it. And, one of the first joints we're going to talk about it, why you over here looking at me, I'm like, dang, this beat is crazy. Neptunes on the beat.
Early Neptunes.
I didn't even know what I was hearing.
Man.
And I'm like, oh, this is like, this is
my from outer space.
First time getting like a taste of what hip hop is. And I'm like, oh, I started to then at that point start to journey into like, okay, like, what else is out here? Like, because this really kind of brought me in. And then you have other tracks and everything else that's on here. But Mace, I thought like his rhymes were just like cool, smooth, simple. It didn't really like blow my mind away, but it was enough, like you said, enough to like go like, oh, okay, that was clever. Like he did a lot of those little clever
Very
lines.
clever.
Yeah. Like I think he rapped in Spanish for a little bit, like brought it back and flipped it. Like that was dope.
Yep. Like on, it was on, song was it, What You Want?
What You Want. Yeah. That was a dope track too.
It's cool. And it's cool to have an MC that's charisma first.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't get a rapper like Mace, with that much charisma besides like Slick Rick. It's really apparent here in Harlem World. And you know what? I think without all that confidence, I don't even think you reach platinum status.
Oh,
change your style. You can't change your style.
It's you being fully invested into this charisma.
You have to be so confident to be able to switch the style up like that. You have to be 100%.
Because that Children of the Corn era Mace, Murder Mace was tough.
Yeah, he could have legitimately had a career doing that.
Just on the street level.
On the street level.
Because they was
been legitimate that way.
Probably made more money going independent just doing battle rap.
Big
L and
that could
Killer
have been
Cam.
That could have been an alternate reality if Big L maybe was still alive or around.
Yeah.
That could have probably been the route then Murder Mace could have went in, possibly.
Who knows?
Big what if there.
Children of the Corn.
Oof.
Children of the Corn. Oh, that's a dope.
Nasty.
Name. And it's like Children of the Corner. Like that's
Yeah.
just a dope play like on it. And Big L, they were always talking about, yo, Big L will kill all of us.
Oh yeah, they always gave it to him. They always like, it's like, as nice as I was, no one was touching Big L.
Let's go into the style of Mace. You know, hearing his switch up. What are some thoughts that you guys get like listening to his style?
I like I mentioned, you have these, like what I heard was a little like resemblance of Biggie's flow and cadence.
Yeah.
And you don't have the audacity to do that without a lot of charisma. And
Absolutely.
that's the second characteristic that I'd like to mention too, is that like you in hip hop, when your charisma shows, there's got to be some sort of backing to it, whether it's going to be your punchlines, whether it's going to be you on the mainstream level, like presenting yourself. Like Slick Rick has the charisma, but then he's always with the gimmick. We're talking like with the eye patch, diamond encrusted,
crazy chains,
all that, and he's still like that to this day. But I like that about people because it shows you that, hey, look, like I don't switch up.
Yeah,
this is me.
Yeah,
Mace was like that in Harlem World.
Oh yeah.
And he even tells you point out blank, P. Diddy made me pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like he tells you straight up.
Yeah,
what it is. Like he wasn't hiding that.
Nope.
Like
that's
like,
authenticity about it too.
It's like I changed it, but he changed it and made it his own. You know what I mean?
And made it big, like
huge.
Shows you the success of him changing.
Yep.
It,
he was like an extension of what Puff was. You know what I mean? Like, and he even said it. Like I forget what interview it was, but he was like, yeah, I was comfortable. I played that number 2 role, but I played it well. You know what I mean? Like I was number 2 because I knew the bigger goal was to make sure Bad Boy won.
Yeah, and picture coming behind Big L as the number 2, and then behind Biggie as the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was already prepared, even being under Big L for a while.
Yep, and then you elevate Puff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he sold almost 5 million. Puff sold like 8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
he had the hot hand.
Right. Puff was the one. But again, you had between Jadakiss and Mace and them writing and putting that pen to work, and Puff's image and his style and the charisma and all of it to the forefront. It just made it work. And I mean, with Mace, as far as like style, like I said, to me, he was the precursor to Fab. Like that, like, to me, it was the ladies' man. He could make the girl records. But if you threw him on a radio station and put a beat on, he's gonna kill it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's that balance. You know what I mean. And I feel like when Mace left, there was a little gap there. You know what I'm saying. Before, like I said, Fab came through, and you had guys like Fab, Lloyd Banks, Cassidy.
Because no one filled that role between them.
No,
You're right.
It took a few years before Fab came around.
Yeah, and you know what the most apparent thing about that void is that everyone mentioned how much they miss Mace.
Yes, yes.
So many mentions for him to come back.
Yes.
Preacher.
Literally, there was like a 3-year gap where everybody's making Mace mentions.
Because dude was on top.
Yes,
like,
everybody loved Mace. Everybody.
Very influential.
Yep.
Went platinum and pieced out.
Yeah. I think of his like style. It sounds like he's like flirting with you. Like that's the way it sounds. Like it almost sounds like he's like licking his lips almost between bars, almost like, kind of like similar to like the way Puff Daddy did that at that time. Mm-hmm. Similar to that. It's like, very kind of close, soft spoken, almost like he's whispering to you. Yeah. Drawing you in. But for the guys, it worked because he was spitting to the ladies. And like Tupac said, you spit to the ladies, that brings the ladies, but then the guys follow.
That brings the fellas.
Yep. So that's how it works. And it seems like Mace figured that out, early like for his career. He figured that out. Because I don't think he had talks with Tupac or anything, but he did say that the West Coast was a big influence to him. Like he was big on Pac and big on these guys on the West Coast. Yeah. But he had to do it with Bad Boy.
Right.
And what the funny thing is, like, he ends up wanting to go to Death Row later in the 2000s.
Almost, yep.
Doesn't happen.
There was a moment where he almost goes to Death Row.
And then he also wanted to hook up with G-Unit. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, he was in G-Unit.
I didn't even know that one.
Yep, he was in G-Unit for about maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
But yep, he was briefly with G Unit.
That would be kind of crazy.
No music came from it really, but he was signed to G Unit.
Because if you have Mobb Deep and then you have Mace and
that's a wild
MOP.
50?
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yep, that was a crazy. I mean, there's a double XL cover and like I think it's 05. It's like 10 people on it. It's like all the original members, like I said, MOP, Mobb Deep, Mace, all of them. They were deep.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. Going into the album cover. Album cover is one of those classic ones of the 90s. Definitely a great era to be in because it just looks fun, dude. The dude looks like he's out there. He's about to pick up on some honeys, probably at the beach or something.
Chilling.
But like wearing all black, you know, because he is from Harlem. Like he's keeping it real with that. Yeah. For those who aren't, you know, watching this, it's an image of Mace. He's kneeling down, and then he's throwing up the peace sign. He has some platinum jewelry on. He has a nice watch. He has the chain on his shoulder. He's wearing a sleeveless, I don't know if it's a shirt or whatever, but his shoulder, he has Harlem World tatted on his shoulder there. He has a white cap. I'm not sure which, I don't know if that's sports team or just
I think it's a Spurs head actually.
Possibly a Spurs head.
I think it's actually a Spurs head.
And then just looking like he's a player. I mean, that's what I get like out of that, but it's like you don't want to mess with them, but then it's like at the same time he's gonna get the ladies hat backwards,
chilling.
You know,
like that was like his signature look. Like he had fitted to the back, typically a size like or two, a little too big.
Yeah,
but because just that was how he wore it, and this cover just signifies again. You got the platinum. No one's wearing gold at this time. It's all about platinum.
That's true.
This is platinum era. Gold was old.
Gold was out already.
Gold was out by the late 90s. If you weren't wearing platinum, forget it.
My brother had those too. He had those platinum chains, and I would try to wear it.
Gold was out by the late 90s. Gold was out. You got his name there with the MA dollar sign.
Dollar sign, I like that.
Which is a nod to
Very clever.
Too Short. You know what I'm saying?
Very clever.
Too Short is the first one to do that. You know what I mean? And he, that's Mace is the next big rapper to put the dollar sign for the S.
Right. Wow, that's dope.
That's money. You know what I'm saying?
What is the M symbolize? Is the M Mace? Is that for Mace? The big M there?
Yeah. Just for Mace. Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of has it blurred out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
and that tattoo, Harlem World, I think everyone in that group has that tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like 4 or 5 of them, and I know Cardan, he's a producer from that group, and he has that tattoo for sure.
Oh.
Yep. So everyone from Harlem World in that group had the tattoo.
Dope.
Yep.
Dope album cover, very iconic. I'm just glad that we're finally here covering this.
Oh yeah, man.
This has been one of those selfish ones I've been wanting to do, but it's just like, it's not time yet. And all this stuff happened with Diddy, and I didn't want to go into all that.
No, I feel you. Want to let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah, I want to let it breathe. And I want to talk about the art. More so.
Right. That makes sense.
But yeah, dope all around cover.
Can't deny this album.
Yeah.
This
one's in your face.
This is an undeniable classic album.
Yeah.
I like the fact that this album is going to, like, no one can argue the success of the album. Mm-hmm. Like, even from a critical level to the commercial level.
Yeah.
Like, I like it when albums like this become undisputable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even looking back now, it's like, nah, that was
still hard.
Yeah. Because there was a time when the whole underground scene was happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, that's not real hip hop.
Yep.
Yep. So it had that against it, working against it.
Yes.
But now when you look back retrospectively, you see like there's all forms of hip hop.
Yes.
You gotta kind of still, I know the eye rolls. But
no. I'm saying like it's funny because go ahead and finish your point, but I was going
to say, hip hop is a big tree with a lot of different,
a lot of branches.
I was going to say too, it's like after 30, it's like you just want, like, we all appreciate hip hop for what it is.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yes. We have no position to be super, like, we had no position to be super critical of it in our early teens.
Or try to gatekeep what is hip hop and what's not. Yeah.
If it's dope, it's dope.
Yeah.
We're just here, showing the example. It's called That's Hip Hop for a reason.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, this is something we can
appreciate. But most of us, we do have that little period where we kind of,
all shun, 3 of us are guilty of that.
We all have a period where we kind of shun the flashy stuff, or the mainstream. Like, we've all been there, but at the end of the day, when you, like I said, once you reach a certain point,
even
it's like,
today, there's some mainstream artists that we're probably like,
right.
on. So yeah, it still happens.
Right.
Yeah,
but the difference is we could appreciate the great, the greatness of the past, regardless whether it sold 5 million or was a underground headliner.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's the difference. Like we're not holding one above the other. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter if it was a classic on Rockets Records or if it was Bad Boy. If it was dope, it was dope.
It was dope. Yeah. And we even covered Benefit. Benefit wasn't on a label really. Like, that's just independently doing it,
Dog. It's funny when we do those kind of albums and then like everyone shows out for those albums. Yeah. Like I knew that same thing about Benefit really quick, that it was just going to be this like selfish thing to do. But I was just like, everyone was like, oh, I was here for that in the comments. I was like, damn, y'all showed out for Benefit, man.
The hardcore fans are going to show up.
Yeah. Well, so from like even the smallest to the biggest moments like this is where it.
This is big time.
This is where hip hop shines.
Yeah. This is Showtime. I hear when he's doing it with Puff Daddy at that time.
There was nothing hotter than Bad Boy 97, period.
Because it's definitely a commercial album, but the skill set's there from Mace.
Yes. Exactly.
And you don't get to that level of ghostwriting for other mainstream artists without being that nice with the pen.
Come on.
Because it's you writing your own style, but then you have to write, okay, how would Puffy spit this verse that I'm writing for him?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a talent.
That shows he has talent and skill, man. Mm-hmm. So usually about this time is when we start to actually dig deep into the album itself and we pick our tracks, our favorite top 3 tracks that we like from this joint. This one was a very nice album. Almost every track is one we can mention and talk about, but we do have to chisel it down to 3 because this is how we're going to just aim our focus at some of the bars and the greatest ones out of this that we liked and we enjoyed. So this is very opinion based, but nonetheless, it is out of us 3, so that tells you something. But in the comments, leave us a comment of what's your favorite tracks, why you like it, what are some of your favorite bars behind this. Maybe if you ran into Mace or you see him at a concert or something, let us know some stories. That would be pretty cool to kind of, keep the story going. Yeah. So we're going to go into 3 tracks that we chose. We chose Feel So Good, being the first one. Looking at Me. These are 2 singles, right, out of it, I believe.
Yes.
And then we have 24 Hours to Live, which is a great track that showcases a lot of artists on here that are noteworthy to mention. So we're going to have fun with that one. So the first one we're going to get into is going to be Feel So Good. This was the track that we were talking about, has a music video to it.
Oh, so looking at me
first. Looking at me in order would be Looking at Me, Feel So Good, and then 24 Hours to Live.
Excuse me, shame on me. I should just, cut the whole thing and... Start over. Start from the beginning. No. Okay, we're gonna go at Look at Me.
Yes.
Look at Me. This beat by the Neptunes.
That beat is stupid.
And now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a total Neptunes beat.
In hindsight, you're like, oh yeah, this definitely sounds like the Neptunes.
Because they just like that, like those bouncy, like.
Sound like to me, it sounds like something from outer space.
Yeah. It always
like that's just.
Like that.
I think Neptunes. I think space. Just crazy space sounds.
Yeah, futuristic.
Yes,
always has that sound.
Yes.
Puff Daddy. Hey yo, this is very an iconic. Hey yo, Mace. He's talking like he's like half drunk a little bit. Like
yes.
Hey yo, Mace. You know what I don't like? And then why you over there looking at me? I don't like when I'm in the club. And I'm with my honey. And you got, the haters that want to be tough guys all of a sudden. Hit
you with the ice cream.
Why am I gonna stand here? Hit you with the ice cream. Yeah, because your boys ain't with you. Little do they know the girl roll harder than
some of your dudes.
So yeah, you dig? Yo, dude. Puffy was so great at that.
That was his specialty.
Yeah,
that was his. He could do it either at the beginning or like in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
He was really, really big with that.
Yeah. And then verse 1, Mace. Which one you guys want to do that one?
I'll start it. Now, what the hell is you looking for? Can a young man get money anymore? Let my pants sag down to the floor. Really do it matter as long as I score?
And notice already right away, he's like going to the rhythm of down to
Yeah.
the floor. He gets the flow already.
He's bouncing with the beat. Yeah.
So like there's things already going on that like might not be noticeable like first listen, but he's going with it. Like,
yes.
Similarly to like Eminem when he was doing I sit back and this he's going with it.
With the beat.
And then with this rhythm too, he goes with like the same sort of pattern of it, just asking questions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's
good.
asking
That was good point.
Which open up so much more to the imagination or thought process because you're answering this dude, and it's like,
and then it even gets to a deeper layer because the listener like can respond internally.
Right. It pulls you in.
Should he?
Yeah, it pulls you into it.
Yeah. Let my pants sag down to the floor. Really do it matter as long as I score? Can't my car look better than yours? Can I have a bad bitch without no flaws? Come to see me without no draws. In the stretched legs with about 10 doors. I was murder. P. Diddy made me pretty. Did it for the money. Now can you get with me? People want to know who is he. He get busy. Spray so much Izzy. Girls get dizzy.
Now stop right there.
See, like it's just
the combinations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Izzy, he get busy, spray so much Izzy, girls get dizzy.
Yeah, mentioning his former alias.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Spray so much Izzy, girls get dizzy. Gets on my block, no mace, my toe. One thing about Harlem World, we all got dough. 98 Tahoe, Tommy
already?
and a Roscoe. Case I'm ever chased by Donnie Brasco. Like, he knew how to just.
And the 98 Tahoe, like
you was winning.
Yeah,
you was
Tahoe
winning.
was dope back then.
And again, see, that's one thing with rap back then. When you talk about the flossing, like most times they're mentioning the car from the next year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's 97. He's talking about the 98 Tahoe.
And then he brings up the Tommy gun on top of that,
and Donnie Brasco too.
Tommy and the Roscoe, Donnie Brasco was
movie,
like a movie, right?
Johnny Depp and Pacino.
Yeah, that was a dope movie too.
Yo, I can't get mad because you look at me, because on the real, look at me.
I love that part.
Yeah, just that.
I just like that part.
I don't know what it is. It's just it shows your touch to it.
If you look at
real,
me,
it's so Mace.
Yeah,
look
Mace.
at me.
Yeah, it's it.
It's
I always
Mace's all
love that
hell.
part.
Yo, it's always be the haters that be sitting in the rear, dissing every year, but they better listen here. You cats keeping it real. You cats is on your own, because being broke and alone is something I can't condone. Plus, it won't be long till they send me the dome. Sit gently while I'm in the Bentley phone. Why don't you like me? Because I'm mad, flying, and icy. And why can't you satisfy your wifey? But if it wasn't for this bad boy exposure, CDs, TVs, really would I know you? Now me and Blink afloat in the gold Rover. So it's only right you get the cold shoulder. And if you got a girl, don't be real committed, because Mace will hit it. You got to deal with it.
He let you know.
Yeah.
Gotta cover
This and that last bar is the one I want to bring as an example of like, dude, I can imagine Biggie spitting that.
Oh, for sure.
And that kind of same cadence and flow.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, doing the comparison between him and Biggie, because Biggie still kept the poetic like rawness to him, whereas Murder Mace had that, but he changed it up so much where it was a lot cleaner.
Yes.
And it was a lot more flashy.
Yes.
Even, in comparison to Biggie, because Biggie was flashy, but it took him a little time to get there.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot of tracks that were it was more
just raw.
Underground hip hop.
Yes,
It sounded more underground hip hop before it got to the flashy part.
It took him, whereas it took Biggie 2 albums, Mace got it on the first one.
First
that's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
Like Ready to Die, The Life After Death, it's like a whole transformation with Biggie. Whereas with Mace, he got it out the gate. As far as the bad boy sound, he got it quick.
He was a more manifestation of what Puff Daddy wanted right away.
Correct.
Whereas Biggie was like fighting against it.
Exactly.
Trying to be more to the hip hop, because it was rumored that he didn't really like.
He didn't like
way,
Juicy.
Puff Daddy was taking it.
He did not like Juicy at all.
Even rumors that he potentially wanted to leave Bad Boy.
Yep.
And there's even rumors that that's probably a motivation why Puff Daddy would not want him around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is also crazy, when you think about all that and the things that happened with Tupac at the hotel there. Like, it almost kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire kind of situation. Yeah. And yeah, man. So Eminem says it best. Biggie, Pac should have still been around. There's no reason why they shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So peace to Eminem for that one. We go down to verse 3. We was all at the Greek Fest. It's hot and sandy. I rent scooters. I'm with my family. Tank top, flip flop, really nothing fancy. But get approached by a girl named Tammy who looked like enough to Miss Miami. Oh, okay, right there.
I love that because it just puts a picture in your head.
Yes.
Like
storytelling.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, hot and sandy beaches. Okay, cool. Renting scooters. Okay, cool. He with his people. Girl named Tammy look good enough to be Miss Miami. Oh wow, that's what she looked like. You're already painting a picture of what this girl could look like.
That's something that Ghostface would do, but Ghostface would do it way more
complicated.
Way more complicated.
Way more complex. He go way over here, then he bring you here. Mace is just here.
Yeah. Like he would say, backyard banging like a Benzie. If I was in
been like Spud McKenzie.
Yeah, so like he did it way more. Yeah, like you said,
way more complex.
More complex. Whereas Mace is just getting to the point.
Yeah. There you go.
And then it leaves you to the description of how beautiful you want her Miss Miami to be. It's like to your interpretation internally.
And Miami being like, another beach, so you're already imagining bikini here, that's dope. But say since some of her peeps call her Candy, then she starts to ask about Aaliyah and Brandy. Dang, man, Aaliyah and Brandy.
Come on now.
At those years.
And by that point, by that time, they were legal.
Yeah.
They were legal.
Well, thanks for clarifying that.
They were legal by 97. They were both adults.
But definitely like that you just loved.
Yeah, they were the young, hot R&B chicks at the time, for sure.
Telling me how she put Puff down at the Grammys. He ain't tell you I was the one with no panties. Boo. You know who many he want. You know how many he meet with no panties? Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Please tell me something that I don't know. Like if we have sex, you don't want dough. And if it's no problem, you can meet me at 10. I'll be in the room 112 and bring 4 friends.
Yeah.
And if you're going to hit me, it's going to be a quickie. And please no hickeys, because wifey's with me.
Piece of the 112 Easter egg.
I love how between Biggie and Mace, how often they reference 112. Like the room 112 is like a thing with them. And I love how
that's still a joint.
They know how to bring that to the front. It's always a thing. Room 112, you're like, oh, she was going down in there. That's just what you think.
What I wanted to say, an honorable mention.
Why are you over there looking at me? Why my girl standing there?
Yeah, it's a dope hook too.
Why are you over there looking at me?
It's a dope hook.
Why my girl standing here? Like it's just simple, but it's catchy.
Yeah, super catchy. Then next one we move on is gonna be Feel So Good. Dun, 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 dun,
this joint right here
reminds you of San Andreas.
What you know about going out head west, red legs, TVs all up in the headrest. Try and live it up. Ride Drew, bigger truck, peace star, glittered up. Stick 'em kid, what? Jig with a cut, sip Chris, spit it up. Hose ride, get your nut, tuck L, hit it up. I'm a big man, get this man room. I'ma hit anything from Cancun to Grand Tune. While you standing on the wall, hand on your balls, lighting up drugs, always fighting in the club. I'm the reason they made the dress code to figure out what and why when I'm in my fresh clothes. Dressed as I suppose, from my neck to my toes. Neck full of gold, baguettes in my rolls. Rec shows, collect those extra O's. By the E to the key and the Lex to hold. East, west, every state, come on, bury the hate. Millions, the only thing we in a hurry to make. With a friend or ex-friend, intellect or band. Let's begin, bring this BS to an end. Bad.
Oh yeah, plus this is the bad boy joint.
Feel so good. You know you make me feel so good. You know you make me feel so good. That's what we do.
You know what I like it too? Is that Bad Boy was putting out those party joints as well.
Oh, yes.
So it's like you had to play them at whatever party club that you were at. You're going to hear a Bad Boy track.
Yes.
You're going to hear most likely Mace.
Yep.
And, that's just, you just have to play one of those tracks.
That's it. That's what it was.
Yeah. So that's another thing about Bad Boy.
And shout out Kelly Price on the hook. She did her thing.
Oh, yeah. That's dope, too.
Mm-hmm. She also did More Money, More Problems.
Yeah. Very, very just... Man,
big
he wrote
time on
that
the
beat so perfect.
Man.
Yeah.
You can understand we be Waikiki, sipping DP to the TV look 3D.
Woo!
Little kids see me the way out in DC with the Z3 Chrome BBs. They want to be me.
I mean, he's dancing on this beat.
DC, 3D,
He's dancing on this
Waikiki.
beat. Sipping DP to the TV look 3D.
Rhyming with the vowel sounds of it.
Yeah,
Waikiki. Yeah. So sipping Don Perignon, the TV till the TV look 3D. I slip twisted tees to the TV, look 3D.
Yeah, sipping PP to the TV, go 3D.
Yeah.
Classic, man.
Z3 and BBs. Oh, dude.
He was going crazy.
Chrome BBs, they want to be me. Shit, but they ought to quit. Unfortunate, they don't see a fourth of what I get. And those be the same ones walking while I whip. Just seeing cars, just started seeing cars because they auctioned it. So while you daydream, my Mercedes gleam, and I deal with hoes that pose in Maybelline. One time you had it all. I ain't mad at y'all. Now give me the catalog. I'll show you how daddy ball. 6 cars and the power to fire big stars. Sit up, CEO style, smoking on cigars. It's fun. It's like y'all be talking funny. I don't understand language of people with short money.
It still has a way to hit you. He has punchlines.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing. Like, he still got punchlines.
That's just such a dope way to flex. Yeah. I don't understand language of people with short money. Like, don't even talk to me.
There's this one time where Shawn Michaels, and of course we're going to be talking to wrestling real quick, but Shawn Michaels is getting heckled. By a fan.
I think I know where you're going. I know.
And the fan's like, Sean, you're like, you're gay. It's like you're short or something to his height. And he's all like, yeah. He's like, but I'm 6'3" if I'm standing on my wall. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man,
big money.
It's funny.
Big money talk.
So that reminds me of like just That's like you know what? If at a certain point you're just like, nah, your like thoughts are relevant to me.
Yeah.
Like my actions,
the success of what I've done with this stature
has been monetized.
Literally,
it's bigger than what you could do with your stature. Right. It's like a waste.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's a crazy flex. Verse 3. Well, me personally, it's nothing personal. I do what worked for me. You do what worked for you, and I dress with what I was blessed with. Never been arrested for nothing domestic, and I chilled the way you met me with the jet ski attached to a SC. Smoke my Nestle. No mad rap ass cap where my check be. Probably with y'all, I say directly. Went from hard to sweet, starved to eat. From no hoes that shows to menage and sweets. Damn. Now I be the cat that be hard to meet, getting head from girls that used to hardly speak.
That's a double meaning right there. That's a double one right there. Like the actual physical action. Okay, yeah, getting head from girls that don't hardly talk, but also her mouth is wide open now. She went from hardly talking to a wide open mouth. Like that's
and then also too, he sounds so unique. That's one thing that you always want to stand out, and you want to have a certain voice. Mace has his own voice as well, so that's another element to all this. And that's why I think some rappers kind of fall wayside, because they have the skill, but it sounds similar to others. It doesn't sound unique.
Voice is very important in hip hop.
Very important.
People don't think it is because you're not actually singing, but your vocals still matter, because it's the only way you're going to separate yourself, because simply rhyming words, that's what all rappers do.
Anybody can do it, essentially.
I mean? Like singing is different. It's easier to differentiate yourself with a singing voice, just your inflections and things like that. But in rap, you have to sound different from others, or you'll just sound like some other dude that just rhymes words.
Right. Or a copycat of, or
whoever.
So that's the thing that's how you have to set yourself apart. Is there verse 4 on here?
No, that's
it. Okay. So then we move on to the next track, which is going to be 24 Hours to Live.
I love this one, man. I love this one right here.
I want to mention who produced this track here. 24 Hours to Live. That is going to be Carlos 6 July Brody, Derek D. Dot. I think Derek D. Dot is worth a mention there.
Also known as the Mad Rapper.
Ooh, okay. So big ups on the production there. Let me go back. So let's see. This one starts off with Diddy again.
Yeah. Proposing the title.
I mean, it's a great concept. It's like, I want you to ask yourself one question. If you had 24 hours to live, what would you do?
Yeah, that's dope.
Some deep shit right there, right?
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. How would you handle it? Mace, what would you do? I turn out all the hoes as heterosexual. Smack conceited is right off the pedestal. I'd even look for my dad that I never knew and show him how I look in my Beretta too. I do good shit like take kids from the ghetto, show them what they can have if they never settle. Take every white kid from high class level.
It's like If I Rule the World.
Yes. That's like an extension of that. Yeah. Great comparison. Great comparison. At least his verse is like that. Yeah. The other ones get a little different, but his verse is kind of like that. I do good shit like take kids from the ghetto, show them what they can have if they never settle. Take every white kid from high class level, show them what Christmas like growing up in the ghetto. Teach is how to spend, stack the rest. Give blunts to is under massive stress. Give every bum on the street cash to invest and hope Harlem World blow up be my last request.
I love that. Constantly inserting
Harlem World is going to be in his rhymes.
And then he has a group, Harlem World, as well, that he ends up trying to put out. I think they did an album.
They did one album, yep.
So they put out something like that, which is also dope. It's a little Easter egg, you know, if a lot of people don't know probably.
Right.
You know, so that's also dope to check out. Verse 2, we got Jada Kiss.
Whew.
Kiss.
You about to go crazy.
Another legend who we got to cover someday.
Yo, if I had number 4 hours to kick the bucket, fuck it. I'd probably eat some fried chicken and drink a Nantucket.
Ooh, I like that approach.
Then go get a jar from Branson and make sure I leave my mother the money to take care of the grandson.
I gotta make sure everybody's taken care of.
Yeah. Load the 3-power, hop in the Eddie Bauer. So peace to the Eddie Bauer edition expedition.
That's crazy.
And go give all 6 to that poppy that sold me flour. Get a fresh baldy, make a few calls, shop at the mall, shoot a little ball.
Just regular stuff. I like how he put some regular stuff in his verse. Yeah. He had crazy violent stuff, but he just like get a fresh baldy, make a few calls, shop at the mall, shoot a little ball, like, you know.
Have all the bitches in one telly at the same time. Spread it out on different floors. And I'm going to play lotto for what? Even though I ain't going to be here tomorrow. So what? The most dismissive 24 hours to live.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Get a haircut, play some basketball.
Play lotto, you know. Not going to be here, but whatever.
Yeah, that's tight. Black Rob, you know, when I was close to the ledge, I'd probably be in the wedge with my bad Spanish mommy playing tween my legs. Then I'm off to get coke. Oh no, then I'm off to choke and smoke one of them dreads. That's a different alternate version. And get that bitch from 89 that gave us up to the feds. Thought of my mama, wrote her a note. We ain't close. I hate her boyfriend, so I put one on his throat.
Damn.
Fuck around and sniff at once of raw. Bust the 4, pause, pull out my dick and take a piss on the floor.
For no reason.
Get the gas I wanted to get. Since the tavern of the Green Robbery in 86, went home, took a shower in ice cold water, and spent my last hours with my son and my daughter. Piss on the floor for
no reason.
Just because.
Yeah, 24 hours to live. Just think. Where would you go? What would you do?
Oh, that's
Who
right.
would you screw? Who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? Like that's deep.
Yeah, it is a great hook.
That's a great hook. Yeah. And then she come in. Yo, if I had 24, you got to get the raw. Run up in Poppy's spot, put one in his head at the door. For the times that I paid for 20 and he gave me 12. The other 8 had to be baking soda by itself. So Poppy, fuck you.
Cut the stash.
So Poppy, fuck you. You dead. Now I'm off to the bank with those bricks in the book bag and the stolen jag I just grabbed. Went in there and grabbed the bank teller with the pretty face. Fuck her in the safe and take it to my place. We'll make a kid, but that's selfish and that'll be bad for my son that had the same shit his pops just had. And when I'm down to 23, I'll be strapped with TNT, run up in City Hall and take the judges with me.
Damn.
Now notice, he said when I'm down to 23, all that other stuff he did was in the first hour.
Yeah,
exactly.
On hour 23, that's it.
When I'm down to 23, then I'll run. Like,
that's
what?
Dope. That's dope.
That's the part that always makes me laugh.
Yeah, I love when there's a concept and you have multiple people, because usually you just do a posse track and everybody's just spinning random.
Right.
You know, this is cool because it shows you different angles everywhere.
Yes.
Similar to Heavy D when he did that.
Yeah, Don't Curse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty dope that they do that. Styles P.
Man.
If I had 24 hours to live, I'd probably die on the 5th. Ran in the station, squeezing the inf. I'll be waiting to get to hell and bust down Satan.
Whoa.
Styles on the shit, and I got a spot vacant. Back to the 24, I'll make it to the precinct, shooting that I hate till they in their face while they eating. I'm on the job robbing every so-called dawn. Give the money to my moms to tell her that I'm gone. I would school my little brother that's mean no harm. He should learn to tell the future without reading palms.
School his brother?
When they come in with the bullets, you prepare with the bomb. So fuck being violent. Get stocks and bonds.
So he said,
even after all that,
so I'm doing all that, but I'm gonna tell him to do better.
Get stocks and bonds, though.
Yeah, the classic case of do as I say,
not what I do.
Not what I do.
Perfect.
Ooh, DMX.
Oh my gosh.
Where my dog's at?
Isaiah saved it. There it is.
His verse, man.
For left to my death. So I'm gonna waste a lot of lives, but I'll cherish every breath. I know exactly where I'm going. but I'm going to send you there first. And with that shit that I'll be doing, I'm going to send you there worse. I've been living with the curse, and now it's all about to end. But before I go, say hello to my little friend. But I got to make it right, reconcile with my mother, try to explain my son, tell my girl that I love her. C4 up under the coat, snatch up my dog. Gotta throw in dog in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Turn like 3 buildings on Wall Street to the fog. Out with the bang. You remember my name. I remember to live forever, but this wasn't fame.
That dude said, I know exactly where I'm going, but I'm going to send you there first. But the shit that I'll be on, I'm going to send you there worse.
Yeah, that was dope.
That part, I'm just like, ooh, that's
DMX.
classic X.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's just, I mean, that's him with that conflict.
Just
like,
believe in him.
you believe everything he's saying. And then again, he follows it with, I've been living with a curse. Like, he rides that balance so well, man.
Because if anybody knows having a shitty growing up, childhood,
X.
DMX knows that.
X.
That's crazy.
Man,
that's a dope track, dude. I kind of forgot about this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I love this song, man, because it's just,
a good pick.
like you said, it's a posse cut with a concept.
Right,
Yes.
right.
That's what made it
That's
great.
dope.
You know what I mean? Like I said, we love posse cuts, and when dudes are just rhyming, that's always great.
Right, right.
But when you have a concept to it, it's even better.
Yeah, because it shows you how they take their spin on it.
Everyone was different. Some was about getting
dope.
girls. Jadakiss was just doing regular shit. You know what I mean?
One wanted to
DMX
piss
pulling
on
up
the
buildings.
floor, yeah.
Styles said he go to hell and blast Satan. Like, what? Like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like these, it's just those different angles on it.
Yeah, that's what's dope about it, man. Man, this is such a great album. I mean, what's your overall takeaways, from this project, from Mace as an MC, and what he means to hip hop? Like, what's the takeaway from all that?
This is proof that what Diddy had with Biggie was no fluke.
Woo.
This is a great example of showing that, hey, look, like, as long as I keep the framework consistent, if I find legitimate talent, I can take them to that next level.
Yep.
I think the only time, again, we'll mention the band again,
right?
But the only time that went astray was because he took an approach that no one should take when trying to make a band.
Yeah.
Right.
It's putting them on television first, developing them, and then trying to get the album out.
Right. He went backwards on that one.
Yeah, versus with Mace, he gives them the Snoop Dogg approach, as Ali mentioned, where it's, a debut here, debut there on another album, and then his own.
Yes.
So it's great to see that come from Bad Boy itself. It shows the executive production ability of Puff Daddy, it shows the solo ability of Mace, because at the end of the day, there's a period in time where we missed him. And there was no one filling that void.
Nope. Like I said, that was about a good 2-3 year absence when Mace was gone. And like you said, every other rhyme, somebody was mentioning Mace in some way, shape, or form, because everyone knew that was missing. I mean, he brought, he made it.
To come out so early with the bang.
Out the gate. Soul records, hit records, but still had street cred to him because of how he came up, and also with the other artists he worked with. Because again, like,
history.
Mace is known with the shiny suits, but Mace, as we saw, he got DMX is on the album twice.
Right.
He's on a DMX album. Like, this dude he's on the Locks album. Like, he spits with all the other hard spitters. Jay-Z's on this album. Yeah. Like, all these other dudes from New York that you thought was nice, Mace did songs with most of them. You know what I mean? So that's what made his credibility legit.
Yeah,
you know
behind Big L, behind Biggie, behind all these big people.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So he's done joints with Big L, Biggie, Cam, Jadakiss, DMX, Busta Rhymes. Like, Busta Rhymes is on the album. Like, all these other great East Coast MCs. He's done records with damn near all of them. Yet he's able to do the Puff stuff and go 5 times platinum almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, he had that great balance, and like I said, he laid the groundwork for what later would become Fabulous. Like, to me, was, as far as other examples of what Mace could have been, to me, Fab is the best post-Mace example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the lesson here for me is, like, I get to look back and think, okay, well, man, because at first I used to think that, well, you fell off, dude, but now you look back at it, you just follow the journey. Like, this is his journey. Like, this is just dude trying to be real. Like, and we don't see a lot of the business behind the scenes a lot of times. So, and especially back, and we're talking about the 90s, that was all hush hush. You didn't really know what was going on.
No social media yet.
So now, like, understanding, the logistics behind it and how, Puff was kind of getting over on him in a sense, you understand and appreciate, like, nah, this dude was just trying to branch out and trying to get away, and who knows what kind of stuff Diddy was doing.
And then they briefly reunited when he came back. Yes, you know what I'm saying? With the Welcome Back album.
Right,
you know what I mean? That was Mace's comeback.
He did the Welcome Back.
And he didn't
Still
curse.
Went gold on that too.
That album went gold. Yeah. He had no curses on that album at all. He had a whole different vibe with him. Like, he was on a whole, like, he was in a different space. He was still preaching, but he got to dabble in the hip hop. But like I said, on that album, he took, like I said, just a different approach. Like I said, no curses. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. He stayed out the street stuff on there, but he still had some good joints on there.
Yeah, and that's being true to yourself at the most intense level. Yeah. That's being totally ignorant of what the financial success comes of it. And it's great to know that people still appreciated Mace at that level.
Yep. Yeah. Because when he came back, he was welcomed with open arms.
It's definitely a moment. When you look back in hip hop, that whole shiny suits thing was a moment, and it had an effect on everybody.
Yep.
Even the underground.
Yep.
And it maybe pushed the underground to be more underground, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it brought inspiration for Mos Def, for somebody like him to write, and to put out stuff, that was contrary to that, or an alternative to that. It really was like it pushed everybody,
Yes.
And it had an influence. It created ripples.
Absolutely.
I definitely think.
I mean, it had Nas and Jay-Z trying it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to not to no avail, but they tried it. That's how much success it was.
And it's not easy to go that way.
No.
It's not easy to really kind of strip your style down and to try to make it work.
That shiny
not
suit
anybody
thing
could just pull that off.
It was working so well with Puff and Mace and them. Like I said, Jay tried it, didn't work. Nas tried it, didn't work. But they tried it because that's how hot it was. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's so hard to be the top spot. It's so hard to be that.
Yeah.
And to have 3 that were in the top 10 on the Billboard 200, like, that's crazy. It's also another one. But I love ultimately the fact that him and Cameron came together full circle. They're doing the podcast now, which is dope because we still get to hear his opinions and his takes on a lot of stuff, which is funny, dude. Like, this guy has a sense of humor.
I love listening
to
him,
man.
Clowns,
yeah, it's so dope.
And every once in a while, they'll before episode, they'll just throw a beat on and rap.
Yeah. That's
you know what I mean?
Too.
Like, Mace is still
got it.
He can still get down. You know what I mean? Cam can still get down. Like, it's dope to see that. You know what I mean? So Mace, like I said, he literally was my first favorite rapper. And this album was the culmination of that. Like I said, it started with More Money, More Problems. It culminated with Harlem World.
Yeah. Piece of this album. This was definitely a legendary album. You guys definitely have to check it out. You're going to, if you haven't heard this, you're going to be quite entertained. It's a great display of what Mace was able to do early in the 90s, and just shows you, like, why he's still talked about, because he made his name known during this point. So please check it out. If you haven't subscribed, this is a time where we reach out and we ask, we asked to lend your ear, lend your subscription, follow us.
Yes.
We recently passed 1,000, which is great and everything, but we have to march on. We can't just look back at 1,000.
We just jumped the first hurdle. Right. This is a marathon that we're looking.
We're building more, man.
Yes.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Based on the statistics, we ended up finding out that 90% of the watcher base is not subscribed, and to that we need to bridge that gap to where we can actually get a lot more of you guys subscribed in. And that takes us reaching out and asking you what you guys would like to see to get involved, to get subscriptions.
Definitely.
Like what would you like from us to bridge that gap? We need to do it because when we do that, we become more connected with you guys, and that provides a deeper vein into what we need to do to produce the content that you guys want to see.
Yeah, that's a great point. So reach out, leave us a message, leave us a comment. We'll get back to you guys, and if you guys want us to cover somebody, let us know, because we're going to add that to the queue. and we'd be glad to cover that.
Yep.
Of course, we got a couple albums laid out for you guys, and we hope that you guys stay tuned for those that are dropping every Monday. We have, oh no, this is going to come out after this. But peace to Necro for doing the interview with us. That's going to
shout out Necro.
That was awesome that, you know, we even got that opportunity.
Yeah.
And then peace ultimately to all of our other prior guests, Ayatollah,
Yes.
DCQ, Wordsworth. Like it's been dope.
You know what? And the real genuine part about that Necro interview came from us reviewing his album.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
The genesis of it all comes from Necro personally just commenting, giving us the compliments to our review.
DCQ as well. DCQ watched our episode on UTD first, and then
from then on, we can even use the example that DCQ from Urban Thermodynamics also connected with us even after our review.
Yeah.
So it's just, we're not, you know, I think it's a testament to what we can provide.
Yeah.
And like, if we can bridge the gap with the artists themselves,
and if they agree with our takes,
we can bridge the gap with you guys.
Most def.
Yeah, so definitely check out a lot of our other stuff too. We have a lot of great albums. Like,
yeah, I mean, we only have 80 episodes.
Yeah, we recently did a clip of when we covered Method Man and Redman. Like, there's a lot of dope stuff in there.
Nice binge watch material.
Yes. Yeah. All right, till next time, guys. Mark, go ahead, let them have it, brother.
To the MCs, drop a mic, drop a like, and a sub. If you a thug, if you in the tub, well, Harlem World with several girls.
Harlem on the rise.
So do this every weekend.
You don't want a problem with these guys.
While you over here looking at us,
that's hip hop on the rise. Rialto World, what's up?